Hi, this is Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking. I'm your host for this podcast. This is the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family, and this is episode 140. So on today's episode, we're going to talk a little recruiting 2023. We're going to get a little more in detail of kind of what's going on in the recruiting department here at Oakley Trucking. Talk a little bit about the availability of trailers that we have right now, maybe a waiting list that we're having to start right now. We might even throw in some swapping divisions if you're interested in doing that. We'll tell you a little bit how to do that. Also, our turnover rate and why people leave Oakley Trucking. We're going to cover a little bit of that stuff with Kent Childers and Dustin Eagle with me here in just a little bit. But first, we want to get an Oakley update sponsored by Arrow Truck Sales. And this time, we're going to get the Oakley update from JP in the safety department. What's going on, JP?
Hey, Jeremy, how are you today?
Doing good. Give us a little bit of idea of what the safety department needs to tell our owner-operators.
Yes, sir. So just two quick things for owner-operators. I just want to mention wash tickets. Please, owner-operators, be sure you all are getting your wash tickets whenever you're getting washed out. Even if we have an account at that place like Blue Beacon, please get those receipts, scan those into us, and only label those wash. We've had a lot of labels being basically scanned twice under wash ticket and also payables miscellaneous. So be sure to send those wash tickets in and only label those wash. And also, owner-operators, try to remember to add and detach your shipments. That's putting your load information on your logbook. If you don't know how to do that, you can give anybody in safety a call, and we can talk you through that. Or even on our YouTube channel, we've got a video on there that's called Adding and Detaching Shipments, and that can show you how to.
Good deal. So just some common mistakes that you get every week.
Yes, that seems to be kind of week in, week out mistakes, and so we're just going to try and get those minimized.
All right, that's Oakley Update, sponsored by Arrow Truck Sales. Thank you, JP.
Thank you.
Arrow Truck Sales has been in business for over 60 years and a longtime partner of Oakley Trucking and the Oakley Podcast. Trey Visor and Keith Wilson do a great job at putting you in the right truck to fit your needs and our needs here at Oakley. They carry all makes and models to choose from with on-site financing through transport funding. So whether you are a seasoned owner-operator or a first-time buyer, be sure to contact Keith Wilson at Arrow Truck Sales at 573-216-6047 and tell him you heard it on the Oakley Podcast. Okay, we're here to talk a little bit about what's going on in recruiting this year. Since it's kind of the beginning of the year, we want to get I feel like it's good to let all our listeners know what the recruiting department's goals are, what we're shooting for, what we're seeing, and things like that. And to do that, I got Dustin Eagle with me today. Been with me before on the podcast.
It's been a while.
Fresh, new daddy.
Yeah, 2 weeks. It's been an interesting life for the last 2 weeks, but I'm blessed. Got a healthy baby boy named Asher, and
awesome.
Wife's doing great, so it's been a blessing.
You put a crappie pole in his hand yet?
Not yet, but it's coming. Yeah,
It won't be long.
It won't be long. I'm ready for that.
If you don't have to sell your boat because it's rusting out there, not being used ever again.
Yeah, you're right. I might as well sell it now and get another one here in about 4 or 5 years.
Oh, man, it's great. That's good stuff. That's always
sir.
good. And I got Mr. Kent Childers.
Yes, sir.
What did we call you last time? Senior recruiter?
Senior recruiter. Yes.
I mean that in a good way, though.
Yeah. Oh, I know you do.
That's meant in a good way. Senior recruiter here at Oakley Trucking. So, these guys, these two guys are in the trenches every day dealing with, taking phone calls, talking to recruits every day, lining up people for orientation, getting applications processed, and trying to find that right fit for this company. And that takes a lot to do. I don't think a lot of people realize what all you guys go through to find the right person to come to work on here. But just to, give a little rundown, I think what we'll do is, of course, we can go all over the place here, but, just kind of an idea of where recruiting is, what we're doing this year, what we're doing right now, what's pressing right now, because we're actually recording this on Friday, February the 3rd. So this will come out next week on Wednesday. So this is pretty fresh. This is stuff that's happening right now.
This is up to date.
This is up to date. Yeah. The number. Well, let's just talk about the number one thing that we're facing right now: trailer situation.
Pretty tough.
I mean, we are officially not bringing any more hoppers.
Any hoppers? They're completely out. But you know, we've been there before.
With the exception, we do have a commitment coming next week.
We have one coming next week
that we've already committed to. He bought a truck. He's quit his
truck,
other job.
so-
I mean, we're trying to.
So we're gonna figure that out for him.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one right there to figure out. But you know.
But he made a commitment to us, so
Yeah.
we're gonna stick to it.
Yeah. I mean, and the hopper. I mean, it's just not. We've stretched that a little thin, so there's not any hoppers to hook up right now. So that's gonna.
Yeah, and the hopper division took off. You know, I think it's a division that a lot of guys like because it runs a little bit more regional than anything else we got, and get you home weekends.
Yeah, and they're not tied down to any special equipment.
Yeah, it's
Like
a
you
good
said, a little
division to
more
start.
regional.
It's a good division to start on for guys that's never been in the dry bulk industry.
Right.
And I think that's one reason why we're out of trailers. You know,
Yeah.
But don't let that stop you from. We can still talk about it. You know, we're like you said, we're going to start a waiting list. We still want guys to be interested in pulling a hopper.
Well, you know the thing. We got 20 coming. 20 new hoppers coming here, hopefully in March. So that's going to give a little bit of relief. And
Sure.
you know, it's and you're going to have something happen. I mean, with somebody leaving, whether it's an accident, unfortunate happened today,
Truck problem.
or health problem. It's going to be something like that anyway. But so for everybody listening out there right now, as we speak, we're not leasing on any more hoppers, guys to pull hoppers. We're completely out, and it'll be March
sometime.
April before we crank that back up, which goes by fast. You know, we still want to have that conversation with any recruits that are listening and thinking about coming over. I mean, it's not like we're going to quit. You know?
Yeah, and if anybody's interested in it, still talk to us. Let us work up an application, get you approved, because that makes the process a lot faster.
The process usually it takes a little time anyway for him to fill us out, us to fill them out, and you know, you got a truck to get normally, or you know, get one up to par, or it just takes it's a process anyway too.
And then when we start that list, I mean, it's good that you got all your stuff done, because Kent can go, hey, my guy's
Ready.
I got,
Yeah.
Dustin goes, no, my guy's ready.
That's right.
And then
Jeremy said we got 3 hoppers available. We're getting 3 pretty quick.
Pretty
so
quick,
We
so-
won't. So if you're already approved, there you go.
Yeah,
we might call you tomorrow. You
Yeah.
never know.
yeah, that's who's going to get to come for sure. You know, I was doing a count just to kind of let everybody know. I mean, we see it every week on truck count and where we're at. But I thought, you know, our listeners may not know this on how many trucks we actually have. I was talking to a guy earlier today, and he acted like, well, I know y'all don't have a lot of hoppers. I said, well, we got 200 owner operators there. He said, 200? I said, yeah, we got 200 guys in our hopper division. So, you know, we got 200 there. We got we got 240.
240 hoppers.
I was looking at that wrong. We got 240 owner operators on hoppers, and we got 200 pneumatics. That's what I was thinking about. We got 200 pneumatic owner operators, and we got a little over 400, about 410 dumps. So they double
They double everybody
everything.
else.
Yeah, and total about 850 owner operators, which is a great little comeback.
Sure is.
You know, from a few years ago, when down, and then been coming back up on a steady pace. So 850 owner operators is good. And I mean, what do you guys? What do y'all want to do this year? I mean, what do you think is realistic to do this year?
Keep this trailer yard empty is key for me. That's my goal, keeping it empty.
Well, for people that don't know out there, you know, the all-time high for Oakley, I believe, was 874. I'd like to beat that for one.
Get above that.
And we've always talked about hitting that 900 mark.
Yeah.
And I would love to see us hit that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely feasible to do this year if the equipment is available, and the freight is available is the main thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which it will be. We're pretty spoiled. It's been a little slower January, but it's people don't.
I honestly think we can do it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, but that's my goal. It was awesome when we hit 800. It's going to be even better when we hit 900.
I had a call earlier too that said something about see you guys are still hiring people. Well, yeah, I mean that's our job. That's what we're going to do, and even a little slow period is you're not just gonna throw the brakes on because I think sometimes people don't realize that it is a process to go through the recruiting.
Oh, yeah.
To get leased on. I mean, it's not I'll call you today and I'll be there next week like people think.
No, and a lot of recruits you talk to, you can tell they've been through a lot of companies like that. And when they call us, they're going, man, this is a process.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
y'all want a lot of stuff. Well,
Yeah, why are they asking us about that? Why do they want to know that? We cover a lot of ground with them. We want to know what we're getting in an owner-operator, just like, I mean, they can talk to any of our owner-operators out there. They know what we have. We tell them what we offer, and we just want to make sure we know what we're getting. So it takes a little while. We're not looking for everybody.
Yeah, it's not a quick deal. But to those people out there that are listening, go, why are you leasing on so many trucks? Well, we're not leasing on many trucks. I think that is just, I know we put them up on social media every week, but I mean, it is not, 5 or 6 a week, and you're talking 850 truck count, driver count company.
Exactly.
And you're doing 5 or 6. I mean,
yeah. They're saying that, and we're in here disappointed.
Yeah.
We're wanting 8, 10 a week.
Right.
So
yeah, to be able to grow the fleet little by little. I mean, I think our goal's always been, if we could gain this fleet 50 trucks a year, that is a lot of people think 50 a year, you ought to be, I'm telling you now, that's a challenge to do 50 a year because that's another dispatcher, that's adding somebody probably to the safety department.
that's 60 more trailers we're fixing
trailers. It affects a lot of different stuff when you go adding the fleet, gaining 50 trucks in a year's time.
And you even break it down further than that, one a week. We want to gain 1 truck a week.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it doesn't happen all the time.
No, it doesn't happen all the time. We've been pretty fortunate this past
Yes, we have.
year to be able to do that for sure, but it can be a challenge, on it for sure. The other thing I was going to talk about was one of the reasons I think that we are getting full. Something we didn't touch on before I get to the turnover and why people quit Oakley was the dump situation. We talked about the hoppers and those trailers. What's the dump situation look like?
It's week by week. Talked with dump dispatch yesterday, and we're getting pretty tight on trailers. I'm thinking we probably got another couple weeks of, average 3 guys, and we're going to be getting full on the dump side also.
Yeah, they're starting to holler at us just like the hoppers are. So, once they start saying slow down a little bit, let's check our trailer situation out. So, they're getting pretty thin back there.
So if you're pulling a dump trailer right now,
don't drop it on the yard. The recruiting department will hook it up. If you're at Oakley already, do not drop your trailer.
Don't come to the yard.
They've got somebody ready to hook to it. Don't they? Yeah, I think we make a round out there every day writing down trailers.
I'm thinking there's going to be some new ones show up any day out there, but it ain't happened yet. So.
But we should have some new dumps coming pretty soon. So we've actually already had one of them show up here on the yard.
Awesome.
But Toby said there was a little glitch in the tailgate hinge that was going to have to be fixed because, I don't know, something changed there that he wasn't aware of, and it's going to cause a leaking problem where the tarp goes over that hinge. So he was waiting see the remedy on that and see if that's going to be an easy fix, to keep those trailers coming, because we could start getting them in. And
Yeah, that'd be great.
yeah, we need some. They'll be looking good. Sharp new spread axles.
Oh, yeah.
Coming in.
I'm ready to see them.
Yeah, me too. They're going to be good.
Yeah, everybody wants those spread axles.
Pneumatics, I think, are tight, ain't they?
Yeah, I actually talked to Bradley Simpson yesterday. He's the operations manager down there, and I was searching for some, bottom drop tanks to try to for our hopper situation. He's like, we're out of those. We're out of dirt tanks pretty much, and I got some back tanks, but they're getting thin too. So
Yeah, and we got 2 guys swapping over. We got several on the list.
yeah, I
to
think
swap to
we're
pneumatics
going to
for.
have
2 next week.
by the end of next week. We'll have I think 6 or 7 that swapped over in the last few weeks.
Yep. Yeah,
So that's great.
and I'll tell you something else they may not realize, and I appreciate our owner-operators doing this when we're in a bind, is those guys, is it the Glenwood to Irving? Or Little Rock to Dangerfield? I
No,
think Glenwood to Irving.
Glenwood to Irving is the ones pulling the bottom drop.
They're
tanks
pulling
for us.
those small tanks at bottom drop instead of a hopper to relieve.
Yes.
The
So we'll have some relief on hopper division.
And a big shout out to them because, pulling one of those, it comes out a lot slower. You've got to have a little bit more patience and know what you're doing. But a big shout out to them because that shows you're a team player, and we appreciate it.
Man, we sure do. That's helped us out of a bind.
Exactly.
And hopefully when we get those new hoppers in, we can get those swapped out. And I don't have any word of any pneumatics coming in yet. Oakley Trucking is a 100% owner-operator company. We specialize in hopper bottom, end dump, and pneumatic trailers. We provide the trailer free of charge, and you provide the truck. We have a large customer base that reaches the whole United States as well as parts of Canada. Our owner-operators live anywhere from Texas to North Carolina to Pennsylvania to Wisconsin and everywhere in between, and we get them home weekends. We take it seriously when you join Oakley Trucking because we need you to be successful. Oakley offers great benefits and competitive mileage pay, so you know that when your wheels are turning, you're generating money no matter if you're loaded or empty. We understand that you want to make a good living and that you make our living. We only take on independent contractors, and to be honest with you, we are very particular on who we lease on. You must have a good driving record, good work history, and clean, dependable truck. So if you're interested in Oakley Trucking or just want some more information, you can go to oakleytrucking.com, listen to our weekly podcast, The Oakley Podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So Miles is asking why are guys swapping to pneumatics. So we can talk about swapping divisions here for a few minutes if you want to.
Well, I mean, I think we're a big family over here. They know a lot of, even though they're pulling a dump or a hopper, they know a lot of pneumatic guys. And they know them guys are staying busy, making money. Generally our pneumatic division makes the most money here at Oakley. That's not a secret to anybody. And I think the ultimate goal for an owner-operator, that's, they want to make the most money they can. Yeah. And, and a lot of them, it's a challenge. They don't there's a lot that goes into pulling a pneumatic, and that's where we come in, helping explain to them, why you should swap over, what the process is.
Well, it's for one part, to answer part of Miles' question, is we push that a little bit.
We do.
We push it to get good guys on pneumatics because that's typically how we're going to get a pneumatic guy. Very rarely are we going to find one that's already got pneumatic experience and put him straight over there. And then, we've had some situations where we put a guy on pneumatics. But, we started promoting that a little bit a couple of months ago to try to get some guys to swap, to create some availability with the end dumps or the hoppers.
Because it's very rare we hire somebody to go straight pneumatic.
Right.
It's mostly guys that are already here.
Yeah. So, and you got to be a pretty good owner-operator to get recommended by your dispatcher. They talk, and, hey, does this guy do things right? I mean, is he a pneumatic caliber guy that we want? And, I mean, there's not just a, hey, I'm swapping, I'll be in there tomorrow to change over. It don't go like that. So let's talk about that a little bit more in detail, guys. Is if somebody wants to swap divisions, what is the process?
Well, I'll start out on that.
Sure.
First thing you need to do would be to call your dispatcher, call us in recruiting, and let's kick it around a little bit. Let's go over, why you want to swap, what the difference is in the divisions. See if that's something you're interested in. Make sure your truck is, equipped transmission-wise. A lot of hopper guys gotta have that dreaded DT12, which is a great transmission, but it's not going to work for the PTOs. Just make sure that this is what you want to get into, because a blower's expensive. The money's great over there, but just want to make sure that that's what you want to do. It's normally out a little longer for a lot of guys that, we have a lot of guys here that go home weekends that are in the other two divisions. So it's normally out another week or so. And putting that blower on, just want to make sure everybody's on the same page on what they're getting into.
So they call in and talk to their dispatcher, or call recruiting, or call pneumatic division?
I think they should first call us here in recruiting, honestly.
Okay.
We can get them to the right people,
Yep.
and we know what to tell them too. So instead of getting the runaround, just call the recruiting department. We'll talk to you, and then what we like to do is get you down there to Bradley Simpson or Randy Cardwell. Let the operations manager talk to you a little bit, where you live, what they can do for you as far as home time, and just kind of getting you an overview of what you'd be doing in a pneumatic, and see if that's what something for you.
Yeah. Yeah, because one thing is the why. That's what I'm going to ask, and that's what we all should ask if somebody calls wanting to swap divisions, no matter which one. If you're going from dump to hopper, hopper to dump, hopper to pneumatic, whatever, we're going to ask why, because that's a big reason. Is one, we're not going to swap because you have a problem. We're going to fix the problem before we swap,
right?
Because that's not always the answer. Swapping division is not always the answer to a problem.
No, and you ask that question why, and the first thing, well, they make the most money. Well, they might make the most money, but that don't need to be the reason you go over there, in my opinion. You got to want to do the job right. It's more to it than just make the most money.
I want to go where the most money is.
Yeah, well, there's a lot that goes into make that the most money, and you got to be,
there's a reason it pays the most.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You can't just go over and think you're going to make the most,
Yeah, because it's the biggest investment, and
sure.
Especially on the pneumatic side.
And then as far as going along with the process, we decide you want to do it. Well, we have to. Big step here is we got to get you scheduled into the shop. Can't just show up one day, hey, I'm ready to swap over, need a blower on the truck. Well, we might have 6-8 new hires out here. They're putting wet kits on, blowers anyway, truck trades. So we have to get with Miss Teresa out there and get you on the schedule.
Yeah, these guys on the schedule this week, been on there 2 or 3 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks now. So, and there's only so much they can do out there every week. So we've got to get you scheduled out. It might take us a couple weeks to get you in here to get it done, but at least we'll get you on the schedule, and you can plan from there to get down here.
And I'd say the next month or so, probably the next month, is a good time to do it if you need equipment put on, or you're wanting to do that, because the recruiting, the hiring process is going to slow down a little bit and going to create a little bit of, usually does, a little bit of that time out there in the shop to do that. So, yeah, swapping over divisions is something that we definitely encourage. We want people to be at the division they want to be, and it's great that you have that opportunity to change jobs and never leave the company.
Yeah, and that's a big point right there.
Yeah.
I think
Don't lose your anniversary bonus. You don't lose anything. It's you just keep going.
5
It's just
years
different.
pulling a dump might be getting old to you.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Let's get
and
you
your
in
anniversary goes right over with that division. It ain't like you start over or anything like that.
Exactly.
You're with the same company. You're just pulling a different trailer with a different pay rate. Is all that is. So it's swapping divisions is something that we just talk about, and we make sure it's like Kent said, it's what you want to do. It's what going to fit the program. We don't want you doing it because you're mad or something. We may do it anyway at some point, but we don't want to try to fix any kind issues that we have on doing that. So, why do people quit Oakley Trucking? I think I've asked this before on the podcast. We maybe ask you guys before, but I thought we'd touch base again on it because it's been a while, and you get things change over the years. Some people quit. This is going now, and that's going for a reason. And what's the reason now? Y'all feel like?
I would say it's probably the same as it's been. Is truck issues is number one reason I see guys leave Oakley is truck issues, health issues with an owner operator or a family member, close family member.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wrote them two down too, and then another one I wrote down is, let's be honest, some guys chase money, chase a dollar sign.
Yeah.
And I think we had a podcast saying it's a little slower right now at Oakley, and hey, we're going to go through those here and there, but
we lost some guys when the spot market shot up,
mm-hmm.
and people decided they want to go buy a trailer and do their own thing. So
a lot of guys went to running their own authority.
Yep.
Man, that's
and a lot of them guys are calling back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it didn't last near as long as they thought it would. But I don't know. I think Kent's right on a lot of that. Why guys do quit Oakley. I mean, it's big. Trucks are a problem.
Yeah.
Health is a problem.
Yeah.
Lube Zone has opened a new location in Statesville, North Carolina. It's located north of Statesville on Highway 77, just west of Exit 59. Lube Zone services both single trucks and truck fleets, so whether you're driving through or you have a trucking company nearby, Lube Zone are the experts to turn to. Lube Zone's specialty is full-service oil changes that take approximately 30 to 40 minutes. They also offer tractor-trailer grease, gearbox service, generator service, reefer service, and DOT inspections. They also go the extra mile when it comes to quality control. What does that mean? That means your semi-truck is checked not just once, but twice to ensure all service and parts are good to go. Lube Zone does this so you can rest easy knowing that your truck is in top condition. No other service center knows semi-trucks better than Lube Zone. Check out lubezone.com for all their locations, and when you go in there, tell them you heard it on the Oakley Podcast.
And some of the stuff we do. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize what they're getting into in the dry bulk business, or when you're raising a trailer up in the air, that thing gets your attention now. Going into scrap yards or dirty places or things that you got to climb in the trailer and sweep it out, and there's more of a. But that's why we pay more.
Exactly.
Than anything, dry van or flatbed or reefer. I mean, we pay very well to do that, and that's to me makes a big difference. But you guys do a good job of explaining that ahead of time, I think, and that is a big key to our turnover rate being 21%, the lowest I've ever seen it working here right now. So we're just real fortunate where we don't have hardly anybody quitting.
No.
I mean, it's I'll tell you what, matter of fact, we have to this is kind of crazy. We have to sometimes make people quit. I say that because they haven't been working.
Right.
And they don't want to quit, but it's still costing them money every week to stay leased on.
Sure.
But then they, like an example of their truck or their health, they're going in the they're going to be
in
in
the
the
hole.
negative to us, and we're going to say, man, just de-lease, and then if you ever get back to where you're good, then come on back.
Call us.
Yeah, because a lot of them, they don't want to.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have, though. A very good problem to have.
Good.
We're very blessed because companies that the size of us, the size of Oakley, that have this, 800 to 1,000 trucks have a huge turnover rate.
Yep.
And we're fortunate that we don't.
That says a lot for our guys that are here.
Yep.
Good guys.
Yeah, it just shows we got high standards, and we stick to it.
All right, what else?
I was going to mention, for guys that don't get by here a lot, the recruiting department moved in the office too. So we're right as you come in the back door, we're right on the left-hand side. So
Yeah, we're accounting butt.
yeah, where accounting was, and everybody, I see a lot of guys walk straight over to the right. Well, and then
We
start
moved.
looking around. We moved.
Yeah.
So if y'all need anything, when you come in the back door, we're right there as you walk in on the left-hand side. So
First person you're going to see is Miles Mason.
that's right. Just ask him what you need. He can take care of you.
And get your picture while you're in here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'd like to get those updated too.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate everybody listening to the Oakley Podcast. You guys and ladies out there know that we really appreciate you listening to this thing, sharing it with your friends. I can't tell you, I think hardly a day goes by that I don't, somebody doesn't say something about the Oakley Podcast or saw you on YouTube. And I had a guy in here this week in orientation, and he said, man, I've watched 80-something of those episodes on YouTube. He said, y'all are the reason, that's the reason I'm over here, because I learned so much from listening to the Oakley Podcast. And that means a lot to me because, sitting here at this table and us just talking as friends in the recruiting department, we don't realize that it works and it reaches people out there like it does. But it's, we do it, and I say this a lot, but we do it for our owner-operators and their families so they can get an insight of what's going on here at Oakley Trucking. Yes, it's turned into a little bit of a recruiting tool too, but that's just kind of a byproduct that's come out of what we really do it for. It's also to thank our owner-operators because they don't get enough of that on the road. Man, it goes underappreciated a lot of times, but you don't hear in the office, and we all appreciate what you guys do out there on the road. So be sure and subscribe, like, comment, check out all our social media platforms, and be in touch with what's going on at Oakley Trucking. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next week.